Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, this week we've had quite as normal, a very busy week, doing lots of different bits and bobs. So, start off at the beginning of the week where I was working on the Brown Stag. So, we finally got the paint for it and got it matched as best as we possibly could, and it does look a very good match. I don't think you'll ever get it any closer. I actually had to have one of the panels spectrographed and then the paint mixed and tinted to suit. And it turns out where this car's had a full respray, it's not a standard Triumph colour. I don't know how the camera's going to pick it up, but in person, when you see it, it's sort of a cross between sienna and russet brown, and it's also not maple brown. So we got the paint mixed, and the closest match actually come out as a Volkswagen colour. So what we've done is we ordered it in base coat. So although the car isn't painted in base coat, base and clear, to do the repairs that we needed to do on it, it was going to be far easier to do it in base coat, and I'll explain why. So this front wing, if you come and have a look, at the moment it's done. It's just flatted down, ready for polishing. I've done the final flatting down on it to 3000 grit. It had some damage along here on this edge. The paint had broken through on this edge through polishing. It had some chips. Someone had touched it up badly. So I don't want to paint the whole wing with colour, as if there is a very slight discrepancy in the colour, you are going to see it, especially if you go edge to the bonnet, the door, front panel. So flatted it down initially to get rid of the damage, and then just rebase coated the area and faded it out across the panel a little bit without going over to the bonnet or the door or the front panel. And once obviously that was covered, I then just re-lacquered the whole wing. Same with the boot lid. The boot lid that had some damage on it, a little dent where I think someone had overloaded the boot and closed it, and it got a little upwards dent which had cracked the paint. So we had to do the same process on that. Obviously that involved a little bit more because it was the paint had cracked, so we had to sand it down. That required a little bit of filler, and then priming and painting. So, but again, managed to keep it away from the edges of the panel so that the panels should still match. They're going to match as best they ever are going to anyway. Whether the lacquer may reflect it slightly more glossy, don't know. But I am going to polish up like the bonnet, front panel, the door to help lose the freshness of the paint. So that's where we got up to on the Stag. Oh, no, we didn't. We've got the backlights refurbished as well. If we're going to have a look at the backlights. So the boot lid's still off the car at the moment. I haven't refitted all the boot trim yet, as I've got to change a couple of the bulbs. But these lenses had gone very sort of milky and yellow. So stripped down the lights, polished them all up, and re-chromed all the reflectors inside with a chrome finish, so they're going to reflect really nice and bright again. New gaskets and new light lenses, so they do look very, very bright now. We had to fix the petrol filler cap as well. That didn't lock, so we fixed that for him. But we're now getting to the point where the Stag should be pretty much finished Monday, Tuesday, and that can then go back to its owner. Also this week we had a TR7 came in for just the engine to be removed for the customer. He didn't want any photographs or any footage of it being online, so we haven't really got anything to show on that. But all he wanted was the engine and gearbox removing out of it, so we got that done for him, as it's quite a straightforward job on them unless everything's seized up like it was on that one. But hey ho. And then we'll move on to some of the new arrivals. So we've got a couple of cars in, and we've got more waiting to come in, which we'll go on to in a minute as well. So if we turn around, we've got black TR7 Premium coupe. This car has been to us before. It came in with blown head gasket and quite a number of other issues back in the summer, which we fixed. The young lad is only 18 years old, so he's still he is in the trade, but he's still an apprentice. He didn't feel capable of sorting the car out, so he sent it to us. But now, unfortunately, his rear train arm mounts have given up. And what I mean by that is there's the rear train arm mount where it's welded to the body is quite rotten, and it's now ripped the axle pretty much off the car. So we've got to strip that down, get it all realigned and measure it all. Lucky enough, got plenty of other shells to measure it off of, because it has moved. The axle has moved backwards on the right hand side by a good inch. So that's going to be quite an involved job to do it, because obviously all the rear of the floor is rotten. The rear, what I call the heel board, is rotted. Train arm mount is rotted. So it's quite an involved job, but we'll get some good photographs of that when we go through it all when we get it on the lift. And we've also got Mark III Capri. That's here with us just for a couple of days, as the owner is actually selling it. He's putting it into an auction. I believe it's H&H auctions. I think it's in next month's auction, and he's asked us to just tidy up the engine bay. I have started on it now. The main bit was the radiator cowling panel was just pure rust and it looked really manky. The rest of the engine bay is actually quite tidy, but that really did let it down. So I've removed that, blasted it and painted it. I'll get that fitted back on this afternoon and clean up the rest of the engine bay. So I'll get a couple of photographs of that. I've got a photograph before as well, and we'll put it in at the end of the video. Now, we have got another very rare car, which we're going to look at. We'll have a quick look at it. Can't show too much of it because the owner wants it to be cleaned up before it's put on camera properly. It is a full restoration project. But today is the only day since the car arrived it hasn't been actually hammering down with rain. So I haven't had a chance to actually clean it properly. So we'll show just the back end of it, and we'll also talk about what it actually is. So I'll grab my notes. We're going to have a quick look at that. And I will apologise if there's a lot of wind noise, because it is very windy here right now. So I'll go grab my notes and we'll go look at that. Right. This car behind me, hopefully you can hear me over the wind and it's not too bad. This car, it is a very special little Triumph TR8. The VIN number is ACN30. So it's one of the first 38 prototypes that were made. And it's also painted in astral blue, which makes it one of only 7 cars ever painted in astral blue. They were all TR8s and they all went to America in this colour. The car was hand built by the Special Tuning Development Team February, March time in 1977, and it was gifted to John Buffum. Now, John Buffum was a works driver for Leyland in America. He won, did he win? He won the SCCA Pro Rally Series, and also he won the North American Rally Championship with TR7 V8s. So Leyland gifted him this car as a present for doing that, and it's also been fitted underneath with a lot of features from his rally car. So I've seen underneath on the front suspension and all the rear suspension, it's very, very trick. It's got all the height adjustable front suspension on it. It's got adjustable anti-roll bars front and rear, stiffened rear train arms. It's very, very trick underneath. It also has a quite a tuned engine in it. What level the engine's tuned to, not actually 100% sure at the moment. You won't know that until you get into it. I don't know if we can find any records of what was put in the engine, but we do know that it's got Holley 4-barrel carb and intake manifold on it, tubular manifolds, etc. So it was quite a tuned up car. It's also, being one of the very first 38 cars, it's got the big fuel filler cap in it. So very, very rare little car, very special little car. And well, it needs a full restoration. We will show you around it properly once I've got it all cleaned up, because it has been sat in storage for a long time and it's not looking its best at the moment. And it will be an interesting build to do, a very, very interesting build to do. So that's John Bufham's car. It's well worth looking up online who John Buffam is. I'd done a bit of research on him, and he was an extremely good driver. And well, he probably equalled Tony Pond in the TR7 V8s skill-wise. He was, yeah, very, very good driver. What else have we got coming up? We've got another engine build for a car. It's a Triumph Dolomite Sprint engine, which we are going to be quite highly tuning, and it's going into a TR7 rally car, which we've also got to build. The car's already part built. We've got to obviously do the engine, fit it, get it up and running, and make it so it's up to a level where it can compete. And we're also going to be doing a bit of competition work with it and the owner. So that's going to be a bit of fun. But I think that is all we've got this week. I can't really think of much more. So, the Paulie Rover V8, that's going to be back next week from the machine shop. That's how I can get on and get that built. So that'll be great to get that finally built. The machine shop, they got behind with a lot of other stuff. So that's naturally pushed our engine behind. So that's going to be coming back next week. So I spoke to them on Friday, and they said, yeah, it should be sorted out Monday, Tuesday. So we can have it back and crack on building that. So, yep, I think that's it. On that note, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.